True your freedom.
Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
Oh, there's a lot of shit coming down, and I really wish Bimbo Bondi and Cash Patel would actually arrest, prosecute, and freaking dispose of criminals the way a real attorney general and a real FBI would. All these people that are now coming out, they're in trouble because they covered up Biden's incompetence, mental state. In fact, now today, Camel Toes Harris is on the hot seat because she knew as well. And she didn't say anything. And she was it's hard to believe that dumb see you next Tuesday was the vice president. We were one tumble down a staircase of having that dumb bitch sit in the White House. I mean, literally, she cannot talk about any topic without introducing her own special recipe of word salad that makes no sense. Folks, I've been really enjoying the slight tweak that we've been doing, which is I talk about a subject, and if you've got some gem, you can write it in the comments real quick, and Ooman will toss it up on the board. So let's keep doing that. I'll just have some fun with this. You have some fun with it. You can do your talking right down below. We got lots of good comments and fun down there. I don't want to take that away. That's not what I'm trying to do. But for those of you who have something to say now, bam, you can throw it in there, or just your own subject altogether, because this is not a show about just John and his blathering and blah, 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 but rather it's me and you. It's all of us together sharing topics, talking about what's happening. So if I say something that really, turns a gear in your head, I want to know what you're thinking. So now that we've talked about Joe Biden and what a liar he is and everyone that covered for him, great topic, of course. Let's switch to another topic. Everyone knows the name Rosie O'Donnell, right? We all know who that person is. that really handsome piece of whatever she is. Rosie O'Donnell. She hates Trump so much, she just lost all of her shit. She left the country and then found out, well, America's not as bad as other countries. I think she came back, not too sure. She loves showing up on media with big, festering, boiling herpes on her fucking face. Disgusting. Blah, blah. Anyways, I got some Rosie O'Donnell news. Tell me what you think about this, because at the end, I've got a question. Here it is. Rosie O'Donnell's daughter has been sentenced to prison amid sexual assault allegations. I would have never suspected that. No. But my question for you guys, before we delve into deep, dark SHTF topics, I wanted to start with this one because it made me laugh. Do you think she assaulted sexually a girl or a boy? Once again, this is Rosie O'Donnell's daughter. And no, I don't know if Rosie O'Donnell's daughter is a tranny. I have no idea if she's gay, bi, try anything. No idea. But just taking a wild guess and having a laugh at their expense. Woo! Okay. By the way, Israel is continuing to be lampooned, criticized, harshly criticized, and accused of all kinds of matters in the good old United Nations, the UN. And once again, the UN really is a toothless, gutless, heartless, hopeless, helpless organization that all it does is suck money out of the United States of America and does nothing good. Nothing good. All righty. If I just see the words yes or no pop up on the screen, that means Ooman is having you answer the one question. I think that's the only yes or no question I have. All right, folks, are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Do you have solar panels, a backup electricity generator? Do you have communications equipment, from radios that receive to radios that transmit, like ham, CB, walkie-talkies? How are you going to communicate if they bring down the house? And we have a new SHTF threat, by the way. The Russians have just announced in the last 2 days, good old Vlad the Putin, as opposed to Vlad the Impaler, but Vlad the Putin has let America know that, hey, our nuclear-powered drone submarine, fully operational, and can toss a radioactive tsunami wave, I think 100 feet tall, at anywhere. We got that, and they've got another nuclear weapon that they've tested. They're like, you know what? We're done playing games. We're done being threatened. We're going to let the world know we're testing nukes. So Donald Trump does not like it when anyone throws their dick on the table for a measuring contest. And he looked at the Secretary of War and the defense industry, and he said, that's it. We're going to test our nukes now. And all of a sudden, Mr. Uman, we're back in 1982 in the Cold War with Russia, just like that. At the same time, Trump was supposed to be improving U.S.-Russian relations. By the way, he's improving U.S.-Chinese relations today. In fact, get this. This was an interesting one. Our good buddy that runs China, Xi Jinping, communist dictator for life, hanging out with the Trumpster, says Trump is the president of peace. That's right. He kind of basically, gave the old Trumpster a stroke, let him know he's doing a good job. Wow. Unbelievable. But speaking of peace, in Ukraine, the people have had enough shit, and they're finally starting to rebel. Now, if in America, a president, a dictator, anybody killed 1 million of our infantrymen in 2 years, I don't think the people would wait that long to say, we're done with your bullshit. Especially if recruiters started using black vans and snatching people off the fucking street and sending them to absolute assured death. Well, in Ukraine, they have now taken to regular citizens. If the Marine or Army or Air Force or what does Ukraine have? Oh, yeah. They've got a Nazi battalion, the Azov battalion. If a bunch of Nazi recruiters showed up, right now, civilians are attacking, removing the people that they're trying to steal off the street, snatch and grab recruiting, and pushing their vans over. Additionally, over in Ukraine, and this is an important topic, folks, shit has hit the fan there, no doubt. They've killed 1 million Ukraine people. That's like the California. What if we killed just 1,000 Californians? Or just 1,000 Texans? Or just 1,000 Illinoisians? What the hell do you call yourselves in Illinois anyway? Illinoisians? Illinoisances? Oh, fuck. I opened up that bag. What do we call people from Illinois? I kind of like Illinoisians, Illinoisances, because there's a lot like Commifornians, right? That's a good one. Fuck, I digress. Okay. We would be very mad if we lost 1 million men from any one state. Let's go with Illinoisians. All right, I like it. You guys are allowed to answer that one as well. I kind of like Illinoisances because I fucking hate BJ. He's a communist. And Jabba Prickster, he's a fuck. But yeah, anyways, I'm not talking about you, man, or any of the good people from Illinois that I love. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them do come down to Florida and visit. And I just want to know what to call them properly. For some reason, Florida makes sense. Florida, Floridian. Yeah. But I'm sure there's some good names out there for us besides uh, uh, Florida man. Okay. So we're back to Ukraine, a very serious war situation where their people are being genocided by a very short, very small homosexual man who plays the piano with his dick and is a huge LGBTQIA, who knows what else participant. He is a belly jiggling, skinny jeans wearing weenie smoker. And he's killed 1 million of his own people fighting a war they can't win, while claiming Russia is losing. But Russia, it was announced today, more SHTF news. Don't trust Europe, folks, and do not trust DC with facts. They're just going to give you their version of the truth, right? Coming from the mainstream media, which is admittedly a CIA puppet organization umbrella style. Umbrella meaning it covers all broadcast, all internet, all print. Everything is CIA. Mossad, MI6, government propaganda. There's a point to that. Other than just shitting on them. Oh, yeah. They keep saying Russia's losing the war. But Russia is now producing more ammunition out of their factories than all and every single NATO country on the planet combined. Russia's doing a good job keeping up with the fighting. So, speaking of the fighting, Ukrainians are now surrendering at an accelerated rate at the front line because they would rather not die. Right? And as we discussed yesterday, Russia has invited in Ukrainian media, international media, to come and look at the situation that these Ukrainian people are dying under. And on top of it all, 100,000 approximate fighting age men from Ukraine have fled the country in the last 2 months because, well, Ukraine has eased the rules for 18 to 22-year-olds to leave. Did they not think these fucking men, these young men, are going to be like, peace out, literally? Well, you know what? These Ukrainian men need to realize that they're patriots. They love Ukraine, and they should be willing to die for a short, little, fruitcake dictator. I mean, talk about your Napoleon complex, huh? What do you guys think of that shit? Well, maybe Ladybug Butt Buggerer Senator Lindsey Graham of the United States, maybe he can go to Ukraine and set the kind of example that leadership should set and go fight the Russians for them and show them how to do it. Really show them what patriotism under Zelensky is like. I really think that sissy boy Lindsey should show us what political and leadership integrity is about and do that. I'm sick of these people saying that, well, you know, the young need to die just for them. Just for them. Well, it's not going to happen, but that's my suggestion. Folks, the SHTF upshot, they're not winning the war. No one wants to fight their war, but the European Union, the World Economic Forum, NATO, and yes, even London and Washington, D.C., they all want war with Russia. I don't want to go fight Russia so that some jackass in Davos, London, Tel Aviv, or D.C. No, not doing it. Nor do I want my children or my grandchildren or any of your. No, but they're going to keep pushing for it. Let's keep our eyes on that as the nuclear holocaust rhetoric increases. Trump is like, test our nuclear weapons. Russia's like, we just tested ours. They fucking work. And we'll fuck you up with them. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, let's move back domestically to the potential partisan conflict that America is facing. And boy, are we facing some serious conflict. because people like this guy, remember Omar Fateh? That's right. He's the Somali who lives in America in Minnesota, and he's running for mayor of Minneapolis. He looks like that freak from the pirate movie that took over the ship. He's got buggy eyes, a big melony looking weird head, scraggly looking fingers. Anyways, you know what this dumb bastard has done? And social media is now finally in an uproar. Tell me what you think of this shit. Because footage has emerged showing this Marxist Muslim candidate for Minneapolis mayor pledging his loyalty not to the United States of America, not to Minnesota, and not to Minneapolis even, but rather pledging his loyalty to Somalia, using not English, but foreign language, Somali, while waving the Somali national flag. And this is the candidate, a Democrat, for mayor in an American metropolis. They hate America. They hate white people. They hate our common law. They hate our traditions and cultures and customs. Omar Fateh, the bug-eyed, retarded, communist Somali in Minnesota, is probably still going to run and win. Our country is being taken over. What do you do? What can you do? I have in times past become politically active on a local level where I personally went out and went to meetings, engaged politicians, and gotten action taken care of. It's difficult. It's time consuming. Your reputation is at stake. But when I did it, I won and got the bad person removed from office. You, my friends, can make a difference. I'm asking you, wherever you live, do all you can. And if you're in Minneapolis or Minnesota, do what you can to get this fucking bug-eyed freak who's a Somali who hates this country and is a fucking racist. Get him out of any position. Be legal, be lawful, etc., etc. Now, it should be about America. It should be about every city, whether it's Minneapolis, Los Angeles, New York, or Tampa Bay. It doesn't matter where. American cities should be about America. American states should be about that state and America, and the entire country should be about America first. Well, an immigrant, next news story, an immigrant decided he was going to lecture at a campus, a college campus event. He was going to lecture J.D. Vance, a fucking immigrant. And I don't know if it's an illegal or legal immigrant. I don't know. But wanted to lecture him. So J.D. Vance, because he's a very sharp guy, he basically took this idiot's comments down and said, my job as VP is not to look out for the interest of the whole world. I like that. But I think Veep Vance should go further. I need to hear him say the words, America first, instead of supporting and funding nations and organizations like the United Nations and foreign non-government organizations. I think that we don't need to be paying for these foreign wars. And I think that the government should stop ignoring American veterans, American taxpayers, and American interests and say it, Mr. Vice President, brother, fellow Marine. Say it. Say America first. And if he were to ever do that, folks, and he needs to say America first and then find out instantly, so that we all find out instantly who will attack him for saying those words, America first. Don't just say we're not supposed to take care of the whole world, right? We don't need to look out for the interests of the whole world. We need to not look out for the interests of Ukraine. Or any other country. I have to say it. We need to stop sending money to Tanzania. Did you know that we've sent over the years $20 billion to Tanzania? Can you find it on a map? Now, I'm not a geographical retard, but I'm not a geographical genius either. But I believe Tanzania is in the continent of Africa somewhere. $20 billion to Tanzania. What does Tanzania do for the United States of America? Any individual state? The people of America? What? Nothing. Israel? What does Israel do for America besides take our money that the government gives them and then donate it back to politicians? And Louis Farrakhan, while we're talking about that, of the Nation of Islam, an American Muslim, it's an American black Muslim organization that's been around since, the 60s. Remember that guy named Malcolm X? Right. Anyways, he said, well, if there's one thing that Democrats and Republicans can agree upon, it's funding and supporting Israel. And he's right. So Redneck Roughneck says, hey, I see where the Republican in New Jersey is leading in the early votes. Yes. And that's a good thing. We need more Republicans in power. You know why? That way nothing gets done. Democrats, they get in power and they pass Democrat rules, Democrat policies. They break Democrat laws. The Democrats screw us all. Republicans, at least we get them in office and they at least do nothing. I'm not trying to be overly facetious, Redneck Roughneck. I just wish that the Republicans we elect, that we put our time and our energy and we promote and push. I wish they would actually fucking do something other than just be a placeholder waiting for the next Democrat to win. I'm disgusted with maggot Mike Johnson. I'm disgusted with Senator John Toon. Right? Two rhino worthless sacks of shit in charge of the House and the Senate have done jack shit for us. President Trump appoints Pam Bimbo Bondi and Cash Bug-Eyed Patel to do nothing for us. But at least it's better, and I'm going to have to agree with this, it's better than having a Democrat who will not hesitate or waste a second to violate our rights under the Constitution, moral, decent, they're fucking scum. If Republicans weren't opposing them, at least in the elections, they would probably come out and just admit. Now, Mikey G says, how can these foreigners even qualify for office? Because I believe the only political candidate in the entire nation that cannot run and hold office is the President of the United States, which says they need to be a natural-born American. That didn't stop Obama, did it? So that's why Ma'am Danny in New York. Oh, by the way, I've got a great news story on that. And I'll get to that in a second. Get that back up there if I can. Thanks, you man, because I want to bounce off of this. It's a great comment, Mikey. How can these foreigners qualify for office? Well, the only qualification is that I think they be a United States citizen. I think that jackass Omar Fateh in Minneapolis, he might have actually been a natural-born citizen. I believe he was born in America to Somali immigrants. He speaks their fucking language, promotes their president and waves their flag and speaks in their fucking language. I think that should disqualify him from the perspective of the voter. The voter should go, who's this fucking clown? He doesn't sound American. He's not waving an American flag. He's not speaking English. Fuck that guy. But not everyone is as brave as you and I. So qualifying for office. Well, you have to be an American citizen, I think, is the qualification. So House Republican Representative Andy Ogles is telling Pam Bondi, he's urging the dumb bitch, the Attorney General, Pam Bimbo Bondi, to investigate Zoran Mamdani for concealing praise of terrorism during his naturalization process. In other words, yeah, he promoted fucking encouraging it, promoting it, praising when you agree and call for global intifada, which means killing Christians and non-Muslims and whites and Americans who aren't Muslim is what that is. He praised it and called for it. It's terrorist to call for global intifada. And he did this while he was being naturalized, while he was becoming an American citizen. He's out there calling for fucking terrorism. It's been revealed. He tried hiding it, but it's been revealed. I think Pam Bondi is part of the problem. She is a closet Democrat. Closet fucking Democrat. It's too bad that Bimbo Bondi is a fucking bimbo with her hand in the wallets and purses of foreign donors and foreign interests. This is what's being speculated out there. I don't know this for a fact, but it's being speculated that she's taking money from foreign donors. That's what many have accused her of, because she is also not prosecuting Epstein's clients, who are clearly wealthy donors to political people. She could put an end to this shit right now. Bam, Mandami, you're done. Nope. Fuck America first is what Pam Bondi is about. Am I wrong? Am I right? Anyways, great fucking question, Mikey. Let us continue if we shall. Let's see. I know you guys have got stuff to talk about, but I want to talk about another Democrat president hopeful who has been arrested. Unbelievable. Hey, this is a Illinoisans person. No, wait. He was just He was a Illinoisian. A Illinoisian State University teacher. Well, teaching assistant. I was flipping over tables at the TP USA. That's the Turning Point USA. And now this jackass has been arrested for allegedly threatening to kill President Trump. Sorry, Democrats, you keep selecting losers and criminals to lead your platform of hate and death. And they're breaking the law doing it. Now, here's my thing. I have to ask you this as America First patriots, as America First preppers, as America First veterans. I'm trying to set off the algorithms that hate the term America First. But here, folks, if these people, you know how you've heard about people that want to kill cops or try to kill cops or have killed cops, and the police they say this: if you're willing to threaten or kill a cop, how much more dangerous are you than any other criminals? Therefore, police should really beat the living shit and just kill them. Right? That's the whole. If they're going to kill cops, they'll kill anybody. If they're going to threaten to kill the president of the United States, right? So you got local law enforcement, state law enforcement, federal law enforcement, and then the president. If they're willing to threaten and try to kill the president, how quickly will Democrats come after you and yours truly if they see us and recognize us on the street? That's why I carry multiple magazines for my everyday carry, because it's like an American Express card. I just don't leave home without it because I don't trust these people. This guy isn't a fucking bum that threatened the president. He's not a radical like Mamdani or Omar Fateh, who are clearly foreigners and foreign interested. This guy is not a jackass working in construction with a shovel all day. He is a collegiate assistant in teaching. And he's flipped out and flipped over tables of students who want to talk about politics in a nice fashion. Fuck it, he's going to flip it over and threaten the president. These are everyday run-of-the-mill fucking Democrats who go violent and lose their shit. You know what I need to do? I need to get an American flag and put it on one of those trailer hitch mounts, along with, I guess, maybe a Marine flag and a Trump flag and another American flag. And what flag should I have on my truck to really piss these people off? But yeah, they could go nuts and well, they can threaten you. They can get in your face. They can key your vehicle. They can break your windshield, flatten your tires, rob you, fucking kill you on the street just for being someone they don't like. That is why you, my friends, must be fully prepared. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? Have you run into someone on the street, just minding your own fucking business, driving your car or your motorcycle, Brandon, driving somewhere on the street and have them just go nuts on you? Have them shoot you the stink eye, start yelling at you. I mean, really, have you seen that? Okay, let's do this. Oh, man, let's get into some other topics out of the crowd. Right, I've got more to talk about, but what do you guys want to talk about? Badass Diving Frog says, hey, I got your stuff right here. He says, I watched a little hat, meaning an Israeli, state how they own and control us, America, the government, politicians. They are upset that the people are coming together and going against them. She stated that that's not allowed to happen. The little hat also said they divided the masses to go against Whitey. Now it's all turning on them. Charlie Kirk's death was the straw. Now they can't shove crap back in a goose. Can't stuff the shit back in the horse. You can't get the genie in the bottle. Can't get the camel's nose out of the tent. Here's what's going on, folks. Charlie Kirk stated that he felt threatened by Israel, Netanyahu, and all of the Israeli people who were trying to buy his silence and his support, and then he was assassinated. Everyone remember that guy named Tucker Carlson? I remember Tucker Carlson. He's still out there. He's still talking. He's still extremely effective at talking to people. And then there's this young jackass, and I'll call him a jackass because I think he's a jackass. He's an intelligent jackass. Nick Fuentes. I don't agree with everything he says, but he is definitely pointing out Israel's as a nation, not as a bunch of Semites out there, even though like 90% of them don't have any Semite genetics. They claim to be that they're Semites, but anyways, enough on that. But Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson joined together to have a discussion about American stuff. And guess who has no control over that? Israel, AIPAC, Washington, D.C., MI6, England, European Union. None of them have any control over those two guys. And so they talked about anything they wanted, including what's going on in Israel and what's going on in American politics with respect to foreign nations, foreign organizations trying to control and purchase the control of the American government. And Israel does not like that, especially Israel, because they're a very small country. And they have exerted a shit pile of control and power over America. But what has happened is this nice Israeli lady, right? She doesn't like that. She was claiming they control everything and they can't have us get out of control and start criticizing them for what's going on in Gaza. Okay? But she's not the first one to complain. And in fact, going back all the way into the 1960s, folks, Israelis, whether elected politicians or dual citizenship wealthy business owners have claimed that they, as a nation state, Israel, control American politics, American policies, and influence and control individual politicians, including presidents. The most notable amongst them all is Benjamin Bibi, King Bibi Netanyahu, who is the current president of Israel. He has stated all the way back in the 1980s, even way back then, when Reagan was president, claimed to control America. 2020s, 20-teens, 2000s, 1990s, 1980s, 1970s, into the 1960s. That's 70-ish years. Israel has claimed that they own and or control people and government policy. And it's gotten out. The internet has allowed people to research, find videos, find written articles of Israelis, rabbis, politicians claiming and laughing about how they own America. And then they get upset when we reveal their arrogance for making that claim. Now, let's leave out the whole Israeli Jew thing. Let's just sweep that off the fucking table. How pissed off would you be if Vladimir Putin and every other Russian politician made the claim, sat in front of cameras, and laughed about how they control America, how they buy politicians, how they control everything, even where we fight our wars? I'd be fucking disgusted and outraged if Russia made that claim and there was evidence to support that they're doing it. How about England? What if King Charles, fucking King Charles, came out and I control America and I own the president because we've bribed him? Be pissed off. Fuck you, England. We kicked your ass back in 1776, right? How about this? How about Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela? What if he came out and said they control America? What if Mandela, Nelson Mandela, what if he came out and said, I control America? Here's the receipts. I spent all this money buying your politicians. We'd all be disgusted. But because Israel is the Jews, we're supposed to be, can't criticize them, because then you're an anti-Semite, which has lost its sting. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm a pro-Semite. You've got to be a Semite, though, for me to support if you've done something right. But if you're not a Semite, you don't get to call me an anti-Semite. Fuck you. I'm probably more Semitic than most of the fucking Israelis. These fucking people. I tell you. Okay. Man. Now, again, folks, I'm sorry. It's not about bashing Israel. It's about America first. And the fact that, get this. I got to back up again. Another Israeli social media mouthpiece and influencer came out and said anyone who criticizes them, and he named Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, they need to be neutralized. The term neutralize is used meaning killed, assassinated. Because if you're dead, you can neither be against nor for anything because you're fucking dead. This clown, this piece of shit Israeli needs to be, kicked out of this country. And if he is an Israeli with American citizenship, that needs to be stripped from him because he's calling for the assassination, the neutralization of American people. What a fucking dick. All right, man, let's get back to it again. Sorry about that. Great topic. America first. America in SHTF land. And the Israelis, a lot of them claim, including rabbis, that part of their program is to divide and conquer this country, to destroy our culture by introducing foreigners who hate America. Redneck Roughneck says, when the snap which is the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It is a federal government program to give welfare people more money. When the SNAP goes away this weekend, because, well, Friday, tomorrow's Halloween is the 31st, meaning Saturday is November 1st. When SNAP goes away on the 1st November, this weekend, there will be a large case of the blue flu, leaving the politicians exposed to the wrath of those with no food. Well, Trump and every Republican can stand up and say, the Democrats won't allow us to give you SNAP because they're insisting that we give $1.5 trillion to illegals in food, SNAP, if you want to call it that, housing, credit cards, phone, jobs, cars, whatever the fuck. Oh, and also medical coverage, something that we all pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month just to have. So yeah, the politicians, Democrats, they're going to go hiding. Ooh, this is an aside, but I'll get back to it. I'll save this tangent for after this. SNAP recipients, welfare cases, have anticipated that this is going to happen, that the Democrats will not bow to the Republicans, that the shutdown will continue, and that SNAP recipients, welfare people, are going to not get food, and they're threatening to food loot food stores. We don't get our free shit, we're just going to come in and steal everything. Surprise, not surprised. Now back to well, now the thought is lost. Fuck. SNAP goes away this weekend. There's going to be a large case of the blue flu, leaving the politicians exposed. A lot of politicians are claiming they're just going to hide. They're going to go to their, I guess, their ranches or their underground bunkers. Vladimir Putin has let all of the American politicians. Vladimir Putin has let all of the European politicians. Vladimir Putin has let all of the Middle East politicians who are willing to try and fuck up Russia and screw with Russia. He has advised them that they can try and hide, but they have a new policy in Russia. Now, when Uman and I and all of us old fucks, that would be Gen X and older, went to school, we were told military bases are primary military nuclear targets for the communists. Military bases, military supply lines, and then, of course, major cities, military installations around the world. Those are all primary targets for the nuclear arsenal of Russia, the Soviet Communist Union. Russia came out and has announced those are not the only primary targets. In fact, military bases may not even be military targets for Russian nuclear weapons. You know who they're going to target? Businessmen, corporations, and aristocrats who think that they can just go hide while bases and cities get bombed in a nuclear catastrophe. They have said, no, we're actually going to target rich members of the World Economic Forum, government that will try and flee and hide, corporate assholes like, I guess, Bill Gates. They said, we'll nuke your fucking houses. Your little bunkers that you have will not survive. And even if you did manage to survive the blast, the moment you step outside, your pubic hairs are going to glow a bright orange color from the radioactive material. So I found that interesting that Russia is not just telling nations, don't you fucking try it. We've got nukes. We've got remote submarines that can stay and rove through the oceans for years with their nuclear powered capability. They got a nuclear power plant on an unmanned submarine that is remote. It's a drone. an autonomous drone in the seas that can be programmed to attack at any point. Look out coastal targets. Look out coastal rich people trying to hide, right? Anyways, it's interesting news, folks. This word right here, wrath. When I read that from Redneck Roughneck, these politicians are not going to be able to hide. The rich are not going to be able to hide if they try killing the rest of the world. If they go scorched earth, Russia said they're going to do that. Bad news if you've got a bug out bunker or location out in the country, and there happens to be one of these rich assholes within a 50-mile radius of you. Well, I recommend reviewing your SHTF escape plan because you may not be as safe as you think any longer. All right, Mr. Uman, what do we got? We got Robin G checking in, I guess responding to Redneck Roughneck, who says they will mostly be pissed because they can't sell their food money for drugs and alcohol. Oh, no, boys and girls. Doing my best Eddie Murphy, right? Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Or was that? Yeah, that was Mr. Oh, yeah. You see these SNAP people? They take their SNAP and they go and buy junk food and shit. They buy alcohol, buy things that are of value. And then they trade that for drugs or trade it for cash. Or they give the SNAP cards to people for cash. The whole thing is a fucking shit show. It really is a way to fund and encourage the ghetto mentality instead of getting out and working your ass off. There's no more cry. I mean, I'm so sick of fucking people crying because I'm this or I'm that, because I'm Mexican or Hispanic or black or African or Asian or Chinese, Japanese, claiming that that's the reason you're in the situation you're in. You're in the situation you're in because you've made decisions, good or bad. If you're in a good place, you've made a good decision. If you've got a really good job at a manufacturing company, or if you're a fucking prison guard or a fucking union worker at the docks or a union worker with the electrical union or the plumbers union or fucking, right? There's all these union jobs that are good. There's non-union jobs that are good. Corporate jobs that are good. If you are a good person, you're going to get those good jobs. But people love to say, I'm a victim because of look at me. And so I need this stuff. And then they just talk themselves into the ghetto mentality, the white trash mentality, the fucking hillbilly mentality. And then they participate in this program that is funded by politicians looking for votes. Hoosier says, my daughter gets SNAP. She has 4 children and works part-time while kids are in school. We help her while she gets on her feet. Father doesn't pay shit. Some need hand up. Others get a handout. There's a difference. Yes, sir. 100% agree. We need to give people a hand up. That is being generous. Oh, by the way, Muslims, that's being Christian. It's being kind. It is caring about more than just yourself and your situation. I get that 100% because I know people, one person in particular, who went through a nasty divorce, got fucked over, ended up having to go on welfare for a short amount of time while getting a job, and is now a successful, very successful homeowner again on her own. Unfucking believable victory story. Just needed a helping hand, a hand up at a time, and that makes sense. Now, 4 children's a lot, man. It's hard to support 4 children, especially if the dad is a fucking deadbeat. Get that hand up and get some help, right? Especially if they're young kids. In any event, yeah, there's a big difference. There's a difference between the helping hand and living a lifestyle based on fucking everyone else over and sticking your hand out and playing the victim. 100%, man. I hope your daughter gets on her feet, gets straightened up, and gets to become the next success story. I'm all about it. Folks, for 5 years, I lived in my 5th wheel. I know about getting fucked up in a divorce and getting screwed over, literally losing a fucking fortune. Yeah, I know all about it. But there was no, I didn't even try for Snap because there's not as much out there for men. And the government really doesn't give a fuck about men. In any event, let's continue the conversations. We got a lot of good stuff going on here. We got a lot of good stuff, right? Let me talk about this. Back to Illinoisans, the state. The Trump administration has responded to Jabba the Prickster because Jabba the Prickster accused the Trump administration of, quote, terrorizing kids in Halloween parades. And Jabba Prickster came out and says, come on, government, can you pause the immigration enforcement? Can you pause ICE so children can please celebrate Halloween this weekend? Unbelievable. Right after attacking Trump, calling him fucking Nazis. How many times, man? How many times? A fucking dozen times? Referring to him as Nazis or Hitler or Hitler-esque or Hitler-like, along with the fucking jackass BJ, the mayor in Chicago, and every other fucking Democrat. Now you want to accuse us, Republicans, America Firsters, of being Nazis? And then they want us to not do anything, right? Well, here's the quote coming out of the Trump administration. Once again, Governor Prickster is going out of his way to smear the law enforcement officers of the Department of Homeland Security who are attempting to clean up the rampant crime he facilitated, meaning Prickster is allowed. Prickster, is pushing a false narrative the Department of Homeland Security is targeting schools, hospitals, and churches. This is false. He knows this, but he continues to push these lies. Our officers, meaning ICE, Border Patrol, Department of Homeland Security, etc., our officers are facing mass assaults, vehicles used as weapons, violence, and only use crowd control methods as a last resort when repeated warnings have been given. Those who are here legally are not breaking other laws, have nothing to fear. Wow. And now I have to add this. I don't know what you think about Prickster and his bullshit claims of just let us celebrate Halloween this weekend. Do you remember Prickster, that fat fuck, and every other Democrat locking down their cities, their states? No holiday for you. No 4th of July. No Thanksgiving, right? Can only have 6 people in your house. And if someone sees more people, they call the police. Remember that? That's the fucking Prickster. And if Jabba Prickster wasn't such a dick, an obstructionist, an asshat, and a criminal traitor who gives aid and comfort to foreign terrorists and foreign human traffickers, perhaps the Trump White House response would have been different. So fuck you and happy Halloween, Jabba Prickster. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, that's what I have to say about that. Folks, these Democrats, they hate you, they hate me, they hate us, they hate America. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? If shit goes down a little bit, are you prepared? If the power goes out, do you have food and water? Do you have battery backup? Do you have generator? Do you have a plan if the power goes out? If the fuel isn't delivered? Do you have a plan if all of the SNAP recipients go to every grocery store, steal everything they can, and literally throw food on the floor and break stuff and destroy things? And say, if we don't get food, you don't get food. Right? I can hear it now coming from these dumb fucking hicks and fucking ghetto slime. Right? You don't want no help. You don't get no help. We don't get no help. You don't get no food. I can't imagine the bullshit that's going to be said. Right? Breathe, John. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fuck these people. Ooh, man, who's up next, man? What do we want to discuss? And it's Ooh, man, checking in. And he says, Al Jazeera. And Al Jazeera is not the name of a human. It's not a dude, right? Ali Jazeera from Tehran. No. Al Jazeera is their news. It's Middle East News Network. It's like CNN for Muslims. So Al Jazeera is reporting that Trump has capped refugee admissions at 7,500 for the coming year, 2026, with a priority of white South Africans. Refugee advocates' heads are exploding. You know what? I know, or I should say, I believe I read that story that Trump is going to make either asylum or refugee status something that the government is not going to wipe out, but they're going to carefully consider who you are, what country you're from, and what the fucking problem is, and it has to be a real problem. So with respect to South Africa, the current government regime is both communist and it has a strong anti-white, death to all whites, kill the Boers, kill the farmers. It is a racist policy. It is a racist, genocidal type mentality. So yeah, I can see how it doesn't have much to do with them being white, except that they're being targeted as whites. And yeah, they're being brought to America. I don't have a huge problem with that as long as, well, they go get a fucking job and they pay for their own shit. I don't want to bring in people, give them housing and pay for it. Fuck that. These people are farmers. I say give them some fallow dirt and tell them to go start farming it. Go find some land that needs some fucking food on it and plant that shit. Anyways, the advocates of the illegal refugee program, both domestic and foreign, their heads are exploding. They're pissed off. They can't believe it. What do you mean? Responsible government program helping people that really need it? Look, I get that Somalia is a shithole. I get that Yemen is a shithole. I get that Palestine. Oh wait, that's a place? Yeah, it's an actual place, Gaza. I understand that their worlds are shit. At the same time, in Palestine, America is supporting Israel and its bombing efforts. I mean, it's ceasefire efforts. Yeah, Israel is firing while the Gazans are ceasing to exist as they get bombed into thing. And once again, look, I don't like Palestinians and I don't like the Israelis. I don't like any of those fucking people over there. Whether they're Jews reading the Talmud or Muslims reading the fucking Quran, they both say hate people who look like me. I don't like any of them. But if you look at the Palestinians, you look at the Yemenis and the Somalis and many of these other refugee groups that want to come here. Yeah, you have a shitty country, but you come from a country and your belief system is not a pro-American. We have enough pieces of shit here like Omar Fateh and that fucking Mamdani creature who hate America, and they're putting themselves in positions of authority to destroy the country. Wow. Anyways, yes, thank you, Mr. Uman, for letting us know what Ali Jazeera is talking about. Yeah. You're not going to hear a whole lot about Trump's plans from the American media, and I'll tell you why. His plan to aggressively limit the amount of refugees, aka people seeking asylum. Because if the American media talked about it too much, Americans would probably agree with it and go, yeah, that makes sense. Only let in people that want to become real Americans and actually need to be here and aren't just escaping poverty. Right? Just escaping poverty is not a good enough reason for America to take you in, pay for you, and then allow you to hate this fucking country. Anyways, C says, I don't play this refugee crap on the U.S. should not, emphasis on not from me, should not be playing Captain Save-A-Ho. We got Save-A-Ho, Save-A-Dick. Very good comment there. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm look, there's 8 billion fucking people on the planet. There's 1.4 billion in India. I didn't tell them to fuck like rabid weasels and rabbits and make too many people. So I'm sorry your country's a pile of shit, but we don't need you here in America. We've got enough people who speak bad English already. By the way, did you know, is everyone aware that China and India are massive polluters? They each have 1.4 billion people. That works out, if I can do my arithmetic, 2.8 billion people in China and India. China and India. China and India. I mean, there's significant land masses, but fuck. If there's 8 billion people, shit, I'm out of time. Look at that. If there's 8 billion people on the planet, they almost have half of them. And have you seen what India is doing to the, Indian Ocean? They're ruining it with garbage, human waste, feces, sewage. It's getting out into the ocean and it's being tracked. Anyways, folks.